Welcome back to another video, everyone. So it's a little bit later in the day just because I was really busy with another project this morning, but you'll see what that is tomorrow. But we've managed to clear all of the rubble which I broke up yesterday. That didn't take long, just over an hour. And Dad and Yanis have gone to the local recycling centre with that, and then they're going home just because it's later in the day. But I've got this drill and a very long drill bit, and Duncan's here. He's doing some electrical stuff in the dining room and the library by putting a new feed in. It means the library will have electrics. All I've got to do is finish the stud work downstairs and he can wire up the whole library, and then we can do the insulation and plasterboard, and that means then we can start the ceiling in the library. But what I've got this drill bit for is we need to determine if there is something below this room. I've got my doubts. I don't think there is actually anything below this room. But I thought if we drill a hole and if it goes anywhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't go anywhere, there's obviously nothing below the room. If it does go into a void, I've got an inspection camera. We can poke down and have a look, but I don't think there's anything below the room, but it's worth trying, isn't it? So let's do it. I've got this tiny little Festool drill, but it should work. So you're probably wondering what this little thing is. Well, it is the microphone, but I don't have the lav cable mics because Alex took them back to the UK with him. So yeah, it's got to be stuck here. So I kept drilling, and then we hit clay. And that's a sign that there's probably nothing below this room, unfortunately. But it was only because of this odd stone sort of thing that's going down and below the staircase that I thought that that could possibly be an old stone balustrade or something like that. But unfortunately, no, there's not a basement. And this amazing little drill is one of my favorite tools, and it just keeps on going and going and going, and you can put huge drill bits on it and it will just keep going. And it does eat through batteries, but yeah, it's a great little tool, this is. We got back to the convent around lunchtime, and what we filmed, I don't know where I'm going with this conversation, by the way. What we filmed this morning, you'll see tomorrow. And it's amazing, absolutely amazing. It's not here at the convent, it's somewhere else, but we managed to get back and get rid of that load, which I broke up yesterday. And then for the rest of the week, this section here, which is actually smaller than the section here. So it shouldn't take as long. So a couple more days on that, we'll get rid of it. And then what we'll do is just clean the floor up, get as much stuff off it as possible. And then the sandblasting, and then we can order from the carpenter all of these oak panels and start restoring this staircase. Because it's only this bottom sort of section here which is in the worst condition because it's closer to the floor. It's obviously seen a lot of damp over the years. So yeah, it's mainly just this sort of section here that's the worst part of it. Upstairs is in really good condition. So yeah, you'll see what's happening tomorrow. It won't be here. Well, I'll be here, but what we filmed today will be in tomorrow's video, if that makes any sense. And I really wanted to put a video out today, even though we weren't really doing a lot. But But what I want to do now quickly is remove this piece of timber that goes along the bottom of the staircase here, and I want to get it off the ground so it can dry out, because the carpenter needs to recreate it, and I don't want it sat on the floor because it's quite damp in this area. So we'll get that off now. There we go. Okay. That's now in a few pieces. So that bit of wood didn't want to come out. It's completely encased in the concrete which is under the staircase. So what I've got to do now is break out that concrete to remove that bit of timber so the carpenter can recreate it. But it's 5:30 now. I'm starting to edit this video, and what I thought I would do, just because it's incredibly short today, is do something that I haven't done for ages, and it's answer some questions. Why did they cover all that up in the first place? So you're probably referring to the concrete, just to modernize it, make it completely flat and level. That's all I can think of really. And the concrete obviously around the staircase, that was obviously to keep the heat downstairs, but also for fireproofing, so the fire doesn't spread throughout the building. Yeah, that's from Patty Watt 7528. Thanks for asking that question. Go through a few. Any juicy questions? That's what we want. I'm from Spain and I don't understand why you are removing concrete with cubes having a wheelbarrow on the wall. Well, the buckets are incredibly heavy when they're full up, and 3 of those buckets are almost equivalent to a wheelbarrow, and we can't, like, it takes 2 people to lift a wheelbarrow and tip it onto the back of the truck. It's just easier. Yeah, it's just out of pure easiness. Why bucket's not a wheelbarrow? I've answered that question. Has anyone, oh, Ryan's here by the way. Ryan's here somewhere. He is alive. He's just not posting a lot of videos, are you? He doesn't have a mic, people can't hear him. Scott Foster, I'm sorry, I still don't understand. The floor was fireproof. Why was there a need for more concrete? No, the floor wasn't for fireproofing, it was for levelling. It's the other walls which were for fireproofing. Let's keep going, let's keep going. Right. Not a regular reader of the comments, and forgive me if you've been asked. Billy, why not buy a rock crusher instead of trucking away garden paths and drainage in the future? Great idea. I haven't even looked into that sort of thing, but it is a good idea. Can you get a fire truck through your gate in case of a fire? No, but they have really long hoses. That's why you see the big reels or the big extensions. I don't know if it would fit. I don't think it would. It depends on the height. I know a concrete lorry can't get in the gates. A skip lorry can't get in the gates. Fire engine, maybe, possibly. Level out, blah, 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 blah. Where is Simeon? Simon is in England, where he lives and works. And he comes to France just a couple of months at a time. And he helps me out, but he also at the same time, he earns money and can do work on his own house. Yeah, he's not here all the time. The small staircase that you do see in the same room, not the main staircase, there is a small staircase. It goes up into the pantry. The pantry is on 2 levels, but I'm gonna make it back to 1 level again. It's just something they did in the past. It's not actually original. Because they've got like concrete one side and just some timber that they threw down to try and maximize space. but it doesn't actually work that well because upstairs you're sort of banging your head, and downstairs it's really low as well. So I'm going to take out the floor that they put in and have it just one big room, a bit like this kitchen, but it's not quite as big. Isn't the granite going to be cold on the foot? Yes, very cold. Nothing you can do about it. I mean, you could pull it all up, insulate, put it back down, waterproof membrane, think something like that, but it's a lot of work. And it's okay in the hallway, it's cold, but I wouldn't recommend walking around barefoot anyway. How come you don't just get all the demo work in the convent? Get it all done at once? It wouldn't be fun, would it? It would get really tedious really quickly doing the same thing every day. So what we do is we do sort of one room at a time, or start one room and then move on to another one at the moment, because ADHD is currently winning. And yeah, so once we get the staircase all demolitioned and everything out, obviously things then take time. So like the windows, doors, having things made, repairs, sandblasting, it just takes time. Everyone can't arrive at once and do it all at once. It doesn't really work like that. Plus we're in no rush to get things done. Trailer for double hauling all the concrete away. Yes, I've got quite a few trailers, but they don't tip. They're just like flat. They don't tip like the truck. The truck actually tips. So when we go to the recycling place, back up to the skip, out it goes. But with a trailer, you'd have to do it all by hand, and it would just be a lot of work. What are you using the convent for after you finish? So we're going to use it for retreats. Gwendolyn, my partner, she wants to host retreats, things like that, but it could also be used for some sort of like bed and breakfast. I don't know. I don't really want to run a hotel, but it will be used for multiple things. And I want to try and get the town involved and do some things. I don't know exactly, but yeah, retreats mainly. It's not a project where it's going to pay for itself in the long run. It's just more of a passion project, if that makes any sense. So just rescuing the building, and then we'll worry about what we're really going to do with it afterwards. Yeah, but mainly retreats at the moment. So people can come, stay, and there'll be a theme to what's happening. Why concrete over flagstones? It's fireproof. Yeah, same as the question before. It's not fireproofing for the floor. It's the walls that were fireproof to stop the flames going upstairs or the spread of fire as such. Okay, sprinkler system. I get this question a lot. So you don't add a sprinkler system to a building like this. You can go to 10 hotels in the local area and you won't even see a sprinkler system, because it has to have, for sprinklers to be installed, a maximum commercial, like say 200 or 300 people. But I think for sprinklers, it's got to be like 1,000 people, something like that, if that makes any sense. So what the building is, say like a shopping centre, the requirement for that is, or a supermarket, is a sprinkler system, because at any given time there could be 500-600 people or 1,000 people in that building. So they require to do that. But this is a small convent, and even if it was a hotel, you wouldn't need a sprinkler system. It's just not really a thing as such, unless you've got that amount of people in the building. So I'm required, well, I'm not actually required to do any of it, but I do it anyway, because I'm not sure if the building will be used for something else in the future. And it's easy to do it now. We're doing a full renovation, is to add smoke detectors, emergency lighting, bells, loads of things like that, essentially. So, and fire extinguishers as well, which can be used for fire suppression, which they're designed for. Yeah, I'm just adding it all now. So there's going to be a big fire alarm panel, and all the rooms will have smoke detectors, and then each main area will have a bell. So if there is a fire, you run to the panel, it tells you where it is on the building. It would literally tell you it's this part of the building, because they all have to group off sort of individually. So one hallway can be on one section and bedrooms can be on another section. So you'll know exactly where the fire is, and you can go and investigate if there is a fire or not. And yeah, that's how it's going to work essentially. And then if the power goes off, all the emergency lightings come on, all the emergency lights come on, and they're really bright, and they're above all the doorways, and they have arrows, so you know which way to navigate through the building to escape it as such. And what else am I adding? There's going to be cameras in sort of like the public areas, obviously not in bedrooms, and lots of things. Yeah. So that's it, everyone. Thanks for your questions. I will try and do it again in the future. It's just that I thought I'd do it now while I've got a little bit of time. So you'll see tomorrow a very interesting video on this channel. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.